We are back to our previous little demonstration project. Now let's go quickly through the top of the screen. So the top of the screen looks very Microsoft-like, doesn't it? So there is file here, typical Microsoft. You can obviously close, you can export your Microsoft project into PDF, but I'll show you a better way to do it using the print function here, and you have all your other typical Microsoft and more recent projects as are being shown here. So no surprises there. Now there are two key ones that I want to spend a little bit more time than the others, is a task and format. So let's go through all of them anyway. So the first one is a task. So the task component focuses more on this part here of the screen. You can change the views, there's plenty of views. So what we select is usually we skip on the Gantt chart, which is the Gantt is this. So this is usually the default view that we can have. All this is formatting, so you can format your tasks here. If you want to change the color of the cell, let's call it a cell. If you want to link the tasks, and we'll go through this as well. That's to, a Microsoft project for me needs to be in auto mode. So manual schedule is when you want to input the dates yourself, but in auto mode it's our default that we'll be using. And then all the rest we can safely ignore for the time being, maybe with the exception of information. So if you select a task and you click on information, so that will give you all the more detail on the task, but you have the same outcome if you just double click on the task like this. Double click and you have all this, and we will review some of those as we go through the steps. So that's for the task component. Now resource rarely used. If you go for assign resource, for instance, you see that the two resources I put together before are showing here. So that's one way to allocate resource. If you want, you can put all the resources here, and after, instead of just inputting them here, you can just select them using the drop down menu. But as you've seen, I can just input the resource directly in here. I can put Robert here instead, and now Robert is automatically part of the assigned resources, and we see the three of them here. So that's for the resource, assigned resource. That's the only one that you would use. I've used level resourcing in the past. I don't really recommend it. My philosophy is I'd like to see what I am doing, and there's a lot of automation with this that sometimes can be a bit confusing. The report, that's another one that I've never seen in use. So you can create all types of reports. If you want to play around with that, you can. There's one called project. We'll see that the sub-project is not something I recommend. So if you focus just on the key ones, the project information, that's something where you can put some key data about the project. You can select, we'll see what the calendar is, but where you can select the start date. So I suppose it's good. It's a good practice to input the start date here. So it will shift all the tasks after the start date if the start date is in the future. But that's not absolutely critical. We will see this. I think it's in part 2. We will see this. So that's an important one as well, is when you want to put days off for everyone, more or less. And the rest you can safely ignore. So project information and change working time are the two key ones here.